I think we'll move on. And the next question here, I'm glad we've got Bryce on to do some draft stuff here. The man himself from Draft Digest. So, Andrew Smith, if the Pistons fall to 5, would you consider Taylor Hendricks?
I saw this question. I wouldn't personally, but I don't think this is as crazy as maybe what it seems. I wrote about Anthony Black this week for Draft Digest, and that's another one. I think if the Pistons fall to 4 or 5, there's a whole lot of names. Wes and I have had this conversation about different contexts, but there's a lot of conversations that come from falling to 4 or 5. If the Pistons are at 1, it's Victor. 2 and 3, obviously we know all that conversation. 4 and 5, you have both Thompson twins. I think over at DBB, one of the contributors wrote about Asar Thompson today. I'm sorry, I don't have it off the top of my head. We have so many new contributors over there. But you have both Thompson twins, Cam Whitmore, Anthony Black. I don't think that Taylor Hendricks is like crazy. I just don't think he has high enough upside for me to take it 5. Like I would be pretty solid on the Thompson twins or Cam Whitmore.
So my gut reaction to this question was more based in not really believing that Hendricks can play down, right? Because I know he's a 4, and I think he can go up small ball 5. But is that about right? Do you think he's got any, viability playing down at the 3?
No, I think the thing with Hendricks, the big knock is he doesn't do much off the bounce, which, can be developed, right? Like it's possible. I hate to critique. And the other thing about Taylor Hendricks that people should know is he was a top 50 recruit. The only reason Taylor Hendricks was at Central Florida was because he wanted to be a package deal with his brother. And so, which is crazy to me. Like, why are these big schools not willing to do that? They have plenty of, scholarships to make it happen. But that was part of the deal was my brother and I want to play together. So it's not, he kind of came out of nowhere, but he was a big time recruit, shot the ball really well, very disruptive on the defensive end. And so, I think to your point, Wes, I think he's more of a 4-5 and not as much of a 3. I think he's probably locked in as a 4. And so, I just don't see as much upside. I see much more upside with the Thompson twins or Cam Whitmore. We've talked about Anthony Black a little bit.
I guess my question is, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter sort of going back and forth about Hendricks versus Jarace Walker out of Houston. I guess what are the differences there? For me, I think Hendricks is the better shooter, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on those two.
Yeah, Taylor's definitely the better shooter, although I think there is some shooting upside with Jarace. Like if you go watch his high school film, he was, making some nice mid-range stuff. I think the upside with Jarace is like he can do all the stuff I was just talking about. You project for him to be able to do the stuff I was just talking about, short roll pass, do stuff off the bounce. Like there's a lot of people that I've talked to, a lot of draft people who don't love Jarace Walker. Like as much as like the no ceilings guys have him like number 4. I've talked to draft people who I really respect who don't even like him top 10. So that's what I'm saying. Like this gets very interesting, Wes and Jack, if the Pistons fall to 4-5.
I'd like to kind of branch this off just into a more general question with being at number 4, number 5. And we mentioned kind of some of the names that would be in play there, but who might be best for the Pistons to really target in there? It'd be interesting to get both of your guys' thoughts, and then I'll chime in at the end too.
Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, I really just love those Thompson twins. So if we're going to say a men's off the board for the sake of the argument at 3, I'd be interested in Asar Thompson. I know he doesn't necessarily have the same like juice as a man in terms of like playmaking and stuff, but I just value those sort of fluid athletes. And the jump shot sort of waned. While he's at the overtime elite, but I really like those Thompson twins. So if Detroit fall out of that top 3, if either of those two they're at 4 or 5, I'd be pretty keen on taking one of them.
Yeah, I'm cool with either of the Thompson twins. I have grown more with Cam Whitmore and what he can do. He's not super creative with the handle, but I think I buy the shot. He's explosive, finishes around the rim. And then I think there's some defensive upside. I think there's defensive upside with the Thompson twins as well, if nothing else, just because of their athleticism. So those would be the 3 guys that I'm probably really looking at. I'm trying to come around on Anthony Black. I've I've grown. I'm still not sure I'm there all the way in the top 5.
Well, we saw Wes.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I
we
was gonna
saw
say
Wes.
I'm the.
Yeah. I'll let you go. You go.
No, I'm kind of the outlier here. So I really like Amen, right? And I'd probably be looking at Cam, but Anthony Black is slowly becoming one of my favorite guys just in the draft in general. I mean, like not like favorite, like you're gonna take him number 1 or anything, but I've really enjoyed watching what I have of his. He reminds me of a taller Lonzo Ball type guy. Like I'd be totally comfortable taking him around 4 or 5 if you're not in love with Amen, who I think has some of the similar strengths as Anthony Black while being much more athletic.
Sam Vecini says Anthony Black is like the highest basketball IQ prospect in this draft, and it's not even close. So, I mean,
Wow.
and this conversation came, Wes, from us watching the Oklahoma City Thunder last night and talking about how they made Giddey, SGA, and Jalen Williams work. And those are like all guys that are high basketball IQ, can handle a little bit, can do different things. And so I think we're seeing it more and more.